This is the Rolling with Tate podcast. I'm your host, Tasia, aka Tate, and this is a Tate Short, episode 4. And this episode is about my experience at the Northshore Inline Skate Marathon this past Saturday, September 17th, 2022, in Duluth, Minnesota. That's right, I said Duluth, Minnesota. I went to Minnesota. Shout out to Minnesota and Duluth. I had a great time. I flew to Minneapolis, rented a car, drove 2.5 hours to Duluth. Now, I could have flown into Duluth, but I can't remember why I didn't. I want to say it was because of either timing, price, or layover. So it just was easier for me to fly into Minneapolis and drive to Duluth. So I did that Friday, September 16th. One thing that I would change about this is I would have gone a day earlier. So I would have gone the Thursday instead of the Friday to give me enough time to relax, because my flight was pretty early on Friday. It was a 6:10 flight from LaGuardia to Minneapolis. So, as you can imagine, I had been up early that morning, and then I have to wake up early the next morning, so it's just constant. So that's one thing I would change about my traveling. And I think I'll do that with any events that I'm going to, go a day earlier, not go, if the event's on Saturday, go Thursday, but hey, you live and you learn. Anyway, but the drive wasn't bad to Duluth at all. Didn't feel like 2.5 hours, even though it was. So I made a couple stops. Then I get to Duluth a little after 12. Once I get there, I go to the Duluth Entertainment Convention Center, aka the Deck. Now, this is where everything is taking place, pretty much. This is where the finish line is. This is where they have vendors. This is where you pick up your race packet. This is the spot. So I get there. I'm not going to lie. I was excited and nervous at the same time. I'm actually here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to skate 26.2 miles in Duluth, Minnesota, right? It still was kind of it wasn't hitting me, right? But I was still thinking, it was weird. Like I said, I was excited and nervous at the same time, and it's kind of surreal that I'm there and I see all these people, and I'm like, whoa, I'm actually doing this. Now, myself and Tommy, aka Shamel, he was a guest on season 1, episode 3. Check that out. But we did the New York City Skate Marathon last year, but we did the half. And it is very different. I mean, similar because it is a marathon, but different because 1, it's in New York. 2, it's in Prospect Park. This marathon, Duluth, Minnesota, and we're skating on a car-free road, So in Prospect Park, we have to worry about pedestrians. We have to worry about cyclists. We have to worry about just, the little squirrels. We have to worry about more there. So it's not like an open, free skate marathon. But we definitely had a good time. And from there, I was pumped. That's one of the things that led me to doing the North Shore. I was like, oh man, I had a great time. I want to do it again. So here's the North Shore Inline Skate Marathon. Okay, I'm here. Like I said, I'm I'm feeling nervous and excited and just in awe of all these people who have traveled near and far and near to participate in this. And it's not only inline skaters, it's quad skaters, it's rollers, skis, skaters. I guess I'm saying that right. It's runners. They had events for all. And we're talking intergenerational. So we're not just talking, I'm talking little kids to people who are in their 70s, 80s skating. Like everyone in between. You know, so super dope. Like it's just super dope to experience and be a part of, you know. So Friday, like I said, pick up my race packet, check out some of the vendors. I buy a jersey, see some folks. Shout out to Sonic, shout out to Sarah, the New York City crew, and they're elite skaters, and congratulations to them because they won some awards and medals. So super dope. The home team won. What else? Yeah, Friday after that, pick up my packing and everything, then head back to the hotel and relax. And I was lucky enough to get a, early check-in. Relax. After I relax for a little bit, go get something to eat, then go back to the deck. Like I said, everything is happening there. They had some more events and were giving out awards, so check that out. Then at this time, it's probably 7 o'clock. I head back to my hotel, which is 15 minutes away. Once I get there, I start getting prepared for tomorrow, which is race day. I have to wake up again early. I woke up about 5. And actually, I woke up a little before that. I had my alarm set for 5:15. But I woke up a little before that. It might have been nerves. Like, I'm nervous. I think it was nerves. So I just laid in the bed a little bit. Then got myself up. Got dressed. Headed downstairs in my hotel and got something to eat. And then headed to the deck. Now from there, we had to take buses to the start line. So we loaded the buses. Well, they loaded the buses. And then we drove to the start line, 26.2 miles away. As I was on that bus, I'm like, damn, this is far. And I got to skate this back. The whole time, I was like, damn, we're not there yet. I had also been looking at the forecast. Now, the forecast was funny because leading up to it, I was looking at it. And I'm like, all right, what's the weather supposed to be like? I see rain. I see 50% rain. I see 40% rain. I see 30% rain. Then I see, it may rain in the morning. Then the temperature is going to be 60. It's going to be 70. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is the weather going to be like? So the night before, I'm looking and it says 40% rain, but not until 3. I was like, oh yes. I'm starting at 9. Yes, I'm going to be done. The morning of, I look and it's 40% chance of rain at 11 a.m. I'm like, ain't this about it? Well, damn. So that's another thing I was thinking about on the bus. Like, man, please don't rain. Because it wasn't raining before I left. I met this really cool guy. His name was Kevin. Shout out to him. He was doing roller ski. And this was his first marathon. And he sat next to me on the bus. And we were just talking about, the marathon. And just some other random stuff. So that eased my nerves a little bit. Like, this was our first time. We were just, we found comfort in that. So, like I said, that eased my nerves a little bit. Then we pull up to the start. We get off the bus and just start walking. And like, I look back and there's so many people walking with their skates, their bags. I can't explain it. I may have some video of it. I did have my GoPro, but I don't know if I got any usable footage. But I had never experienced anything like that. Maybe that's what the marathon runners experience when they get bused to a location. I'm sure it's something like very similar to that. you see these people getting off the bus, but man, that was pretty dope. So we go, but before we get to the start line, they have a row of chairs and they have porta potties there. So I sit down, try to get like mentally prepared. Like, all right, Tasia, you're really about to skate 26.2 miles in Duluth. Like, this is it. There's no turning back. You are about to do this. And then I'm also thinking, all right, I have a jersey on. I have a shirt under my jersey. Am I going to get cold? Is it going to rain? What do I carry with me? I opted not to carry my jacket. I did have a long sleeve jersey, but I'm like, nah, I'm just going to wear the jersey that I purchased. I think I'll be fine. So I start packing my stuff away. And at this point, they're also calling like the elite skaters, the advanced skaters, wave 1, wave 2, they start calling people to start and skate. So I put my stuff in a bag. They gave us a plastic bag with our bib number on it. Mine was 417. They gave us, so my bag also had 417 on it. So I can put my stuff in it and then hand it to the volunteers, and they would take it back to the deck where we finished, and then I could retrieve my possessions there. So I do that. Still at this point, I'm feeling kind of nervous, but I'm like, all right, Tish, you got this. All you got to do is finish. Don't worry about time. Don't worry about anything. Just finish and don't fall. I do not want to fall. That's all I was thinking in the back of my head, like, do not fall. And also, man, I hope it doesn't rain. Like, that was the lingering thing in my head. Like, please do not rain. Don't rain. So after the elite skaters go, the roller skiers go, they all go first. Then they're doing the recreational waves. So wave 1, 2, and 3. I'm in wave 3. So everyone goes up to the start line. I'm like, yes, let's go. Get myself pumped. I'm ready. I start feeling droplets of rain. I'm like, God dang it, what the hell? But it's not heavy. So I'm thinking, all right, it's just going to, drizzle a little bit and stop. Man, let me tell you something. It seems like 5 minutes into them calling go or saying start, it rained. I said, God damn. It basically rained the whole time I skated. It did stop for a period of time, but didn't start it up again. And I'm like, man. And then towards the end of the marathon, it got heavier. I'm like, man. But I was almost done. It was like the 3 miles. It did get heavier, so man. But the course was beautiful, basically flat. There were some hills, inclines, rolling hills, but I was good with them. What else? Like I said, car free. A lot of people came out to cheer us on the side of the road, the streets. Man, that was really amazing. That gave, I'm sure, not just me, but everyone else participating, that extra push. It's raining. They're out here standing in the rain with umbrellas and cowbells and just saying, you guys can do it. You're almost there. That really meant a lot, Like I said, to me, I was already excited. You know, the rain didn't put a damper on anything because I was excited. Like, regardless, I was happy because it wasn't cold. I wasn't cold. And, yeah, it was a smooth ride. Like, smooth pavement. I was fine. They also had volunteers handing out water on the side at different points of the marathon. So I grabbed a bottle, I think one time. Yeah, just one time. Because I also had a water bottle with me. I met some cool people. Shout out to Rachel. While I was skating, we were skating about the same pace. And then we just started talking. Again, we first time doing the marathon, and we're talking about the marathon and other random stuff, life. So that was cool to skate with somebody for a little bit. Skate with somebody who I was talking with, because I was always skating with people. There were always people around, Let's see, what else? I finished, according to their timing, I finished in 2 hours and 25 minutes. Yes, that's super dope. Because I had skated 27 miles 2 days before, in preparation for this marathon. And I did that at 2 hours and 44 minutes. So, that's pretty good improvement. And of course the numbers could be off because of the device, but hey, I'll take it. 2 hours and 25 minutes. Yes. They even had a band playing in one of the tunnels. So as you get closer to the deck, the finish line, they have these tunnels that you go under. Again, we're on a not highway. Well, I don't know at this point, I guess it was the highway we were on, which is closer to the deck. Or you're about to get onto the highway. I don't know. But anyway, there's tunnels, which was great because the relief from the rain. And they had a band in there, which was cool. Like, I was like, wow, look at this band here. In this tunnel. And I'm glad I'm in this tunnel to get away from the rain. So I think there were about 3 or 4 of them, which, like I said, gave me some relief from the pouring rain, because at this point, the rain is getting heavier and heavier towards the end. Prior to that, it was, it was nothing. Like, I had gotten used to it, but towards that end, these droplets were big as hell and hit my skin hard. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to finish. So after that, I'm getting close to the finish line. I'm just like, yes, I'm seeing people. I'm just like, yes, I can do this. I turn on my camera to get to get me crossing the finish line. And they had an announcer, and he said my name. Well, he didn't say my name. He said Tasha. But he was trying to say my name. But he said my name. He's like, all the way from the Bronx. And that felt good. Again, even though he didn't say my name. It's all right. It felt good to be acknowledged. Like, I did this. Like, oh, man. That was an amazing feeling. Like, amazing feeling. Shout out to everyone who put that marathon on, from the volunteers to the vendors to the sponsors to the police officers to the random people who just came out there and cheered us on. Shout out to them. Shout out to all the skaters that participated, all the runners that participated, anybody that participated in this marathon. Shout out to you. Because we did that in the rain. I would have loved if it didn't rain. Oh my gosh, I would have loved it, because such beautiful views. But it was still a beautiful ride, a beautiful like scenery. Even though it was rainy and cloudy, it was still beautiful. But it would have looked better if it was nice and sunny, not raining. But yeah, I had an amazing time. So after I cross the finish line, I get my medal. I'm still super pumped. I go inside. They have volunteers that were able to give me my belongings because, like I said, my number matched my bag, which my belongings were in. They gave me that. I took my skates off. Got some food. Well, they had like snacks there. So they had a bunch of volunteers that had tables set up with cookies, bananas, apples, granola bars, all the stuff that you want after a marathon. I was so happy. Yo, those oatmeal cookies. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I had about 4 of them, back to back to back. They hit the spot. I chilled there for a little bit, not too long. And then headed back to the hotel. And once I got back to the hotel, took off all the wet clothes I had and just relaxed. Because at this point, I'm starting to feel tired. Before I was fine. I was good. But now it's starting to hit me. It's starting to hit me from Friday. It's starting to hit me from Saturday, or early Saturday morning, and it's starting to hit me from the 26.2 miles that I did. Like, it's hitting me. So I take my nap. I wake up, get something to eat, relax, watch a little bit of TV, lay in the bed, because I did get finished early. It took me, like I said, under 2.5 hours. And I started at 9. So I think I got back to my hotel at like 12:30. Yeah, I think at like 12:30. So I'm just lounging in the bed, relaxing, eating, sleeping, Then I get up again, get something to eat. They're having a skate session at the deck in the evening. So I want to get the most out of my experience here and, the marathon. So I'm going to, if I can participate in, anything, let me participate in it. So I went back to the deck that evening, skated around again for a bit, and they also had a live band there just playing. It was just like a free skate, just skate around, and that's what I did for a little bit. Then headed back to the hotel and went to sleep. The next day, which was Sunday, got myself up. I had a late flight leaving Minneapolis. So I wanted to make the best of my day, and I spent the day hiking. Well, part of the day hiking in Duluth. I went to this park called Chester Park. It was really cool. Beautiful views, saw a waterfall. I had a good time. After the hike, headed back to Minneapolis. Actually, I went to St. Paul first because I had never been to St. Paul. Went to St. Paul, then went to Minneapolis, then turned my car and headed to the airport. So that was my weekend during the Northshore Inline Skate Marathon. I had a great time. Like I said, everyone was so nice. And it was a great event. I'm definitely going to go back again. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. If you are thinking about it, I would say do it. You know, it was a pretty flat course. So do it. Smooth, scenery, beautiful. It was great to me. And I plan to do other inline skate marathons. There are a lot. So I'll just have to look into them and see which ones I can go to. And see which ones, I can fit in my schedule. But I definitely want to do more of that. So again, if you're thinking about it, I say do it. You have a good time. Hopefully next time I go, it will not be raining. And hopefully when you go, it won't be raining either. But I still had a great time. Thanks for listening. This is the Rolling with Tay podcast. I'm your host, Tasia, a.k.a. Tay. And this is Tay Short. Peace out. Want more Rolling with Tay podcast? Well, follow on Instagram and Twitter at Rolling with Tay. Visit the blog rollingwithtay.wordpress.com for more content, and be sure to sign up for the monthly newsletter. And lastly, subscribe to the YouTube channel Rolling with Tay.